guys, it is Dee, and I am going to, sorry about that, make a couple videos. This is the first one regarding going into the new year, 2024, setting goals and setting goals that are achievable and that we'll be successful in achieving, so we can build our own self-confidence, which will allow us to set bigger goals and more goals and be more successful in achieving those as well, because the more you win, the more you win, and it's just like, that's just how it goes. So I've got a lot of experience. I'm like a super goal setter. I'm someone who I do it daily. Like, I set like goals for, and some people will say it's to-do lists and stuff like that. I don't think of it that way. I think it's my goals for the day, the outcomes that I'm looking for. I do it weekly, I do it monthly, I do it annually, and I always have like my 5-year kind of goals that I outline and plan. But through a lot of trial and error and goals I've reached, goals I haven't reached, and how I've gone about it and different methods and ways I've tried to reach it, I've learned a lot. So I've learned a lot about this, and it's something that if you want to learn a little bit about and you want to hear what I've learned, then stick around. And this is going to be the first video, and I'm going to make a couple of them, only probably 3 or 4, but this one's going to be about making sure that your priorities are in line with your goals, because I feel like this is the very, very first starting point. And I feel like a lot of times we may have a goal in mind, and we think we know what our priorities are, but we're not living our priorities. We're not living our life. Our life isn't, we're not prioritizing what we want our priorities to actually be. So I'll give you an example of this. When I was in university once, I was doing my undergrad. I was doing my Honor Science Bachelor of Nursing, and I had a friend that needed some help, and this was an emergency. And it was a friend that was going through a little bit of trauma and difficulty in her life, and this was a reoccurring thing that was happening. So I was missing lectures because I had stuff going on. I was helping this gal out. So I was missing lectures, and these were hard classes, serious classes, lectures I shouldn't have been missing. And what I was helping with was very important, but it wasn't my priority at that time. What I thought my priority was doing really well in school, getting the best marks I could, presenting myself as best I could to my professors, and making a good impression. And this is what I thought my priorities were, but I was wrong. That's not what my priorities were. And this was the first time I ran into this lesson. So my professor pulled me aside one day and asked me what's going on. And I explained, and I told him everything that was happening. And he said, so your priority isn't your education right now? And I was like, no, like, it is. School is my priority. Like, absolutely. I just want to do well in school. And he was like, well, you're doing this and this and this instead, and putting that first before attending classes and lectures and before getting assignments in on time. I understand you're going through this serious issue with someone you love, someone in your personal life, but and that's affecting you. But he's like, you need to admit right now that that's your priority, not school. And I was like offended. I was taken back. I'm like, no, school is my priority. Like, how could he say this to me? I couldn't believe it. And I remember coming home, and I called my sister up, and I'm like, can you believe the professor said this to me? And my sister was like, he's right. Like, school isn't your priority right now. Your friend's situation is your priority. And I was like, am I really that off base? Could that be? So what I was absolutely doing, and just to put it into context, at that time, looking back on the situation, I was right to be making my friend's situation the priority, because I was the only one who could help at that time, and it was life or death situation, and it was something that was going on in her life at that time, and she needed me to make it my priority. And school, I was still doing okay. I wasn't failing. I was doing well. I was really glad I reached out to my teacher, but he did teach me one of my most important lessons in life, that what I think my priorities are have to line up with what I'm making my priority. So that's so important when you are deciding on goals and you're determining what you want your goals to be. Whether they be short-term goals for the day or the week or the month, or long-term goals for the year. And goals are in line with such as like New Year's resolutions and upgrading your life and leveling up and glowing up and doing all these great things that everybody talks about. It's all about setting goals and achieving them. And we're only going to achieve them if we are aware of where we are placing our attention and where in our life we're placing where in our life and what in our life we're making our priorities. So we need to first of all determine what we want our priorities to be so that they are in line with our goals and achieving our goals. And then we have to look at what we're actually doing in life and see if those things are what we are actually making our priority. And if not, that's where we start the change to start achieving our goals. So I'm going to get more into that into the next video, into how we can identify a goal. And once we know what the priority features are to achieve that goal, and the priority factors are the factors that are going to be priority in order to achieve that goal, then the steps we can take and how we can break it down to go from where we are today to reaching that goal again, whether it be short-term or long-term. So if you are interested in this, watch, because I'm going to be posting more videos. Subscribe and hit the alert bell so you can see when a video pops up. But this video was just think about it. Just review what you want your priorities to be, what you think they are, and actually look at your life and determine if how you're living is actually prioritizing what you want your priorities to actually be, or if they are maybe a little off base and maybe you're not going in the direction that you think you're going or you want to be going. And that's all for today, guys. I hope everyone has an amazing day. I hope this was a video that gives you something to think about and something to ponder. And watch out for the next video, because I've got some really good advice in this area and some really good tips that might actually help you. So yeah, check it out, and I will see everybody soon. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to give me a subscribe and hit the bell so you can see when I post a video. See you soon.